유엔 북한인권특별보고관으로 취임을 하신 후에 처음으로 한국을 방문하셨다고 들었어요. 그 한국을 방문하게 된 이유, 또 방문 소감부터 좀 말씀을 해주시죠.
It was very important, this trip for me. As you say, it's my first visit to the Northeast Asia region. I met a number of governmental authorities. It is important to me to know about the position of the South Korean government in respect to the situation in the north, the human rights situation in the north. But I also, this opportunity was important because I met some people who left North Korea recently even. And that meeting with these people was extremely important to have a sense of what is the situation in the north, to understand and to get to know people living in North Korea, and I value that very much. It was also an opportunity to meet the NGO community, the civil society organizations who are working towards improving the livelihood of the people in North Korea. And there are some organizations working on the issue of what is known as accountability, which is to hold responsible those who are accused of abusing human rights in North Korea. So in this respect, the mission so far has been very good, and I am very glad also to talk to the mass media, to you. You have an important role to play in this respect.
그 해외 파견된 북한 노동자들에 대해서도 관심을 갖고 그 문제를 해결하기 위해서 애쓰시는 걸로 알고 있고요. 또 얼마 전에는 유엔 총회 제3위원회에서 북한 해외 노동자 문제를 최초로 거론하기도 했어요. 해외 파견 북한 노동자의 인권 문제 어떻게 해결을 할 수 있을까요?
You are right. The General Assembly of the United Nations, which is based in New York, has passed again a resolution expressing serious concern about the human rights situation in the DPRK, including, as you mentioned, the necessity to refer the case to the International Criminal Court. This was an expression of desire from the General Assembly. So far, this call has not been effective. And in respect to the issue of what is called now overseas workers, I would say that that's a very complicated issue. It's an issue which may involve first the jurisdiction of some other states different from the DPRK. I'm talking about those states hosting these workers. It involves also, of course, the DPRK government, and it also has a human dimension. Some of these workers who are sent to work abroad are seeking for that in the DPRK, because for them and for their families, it is a source of income. And they value that possibility. So as you see, this issue has different angles, and we need to be very careful when or at least I have to be very careful as a reporter in addressing, in properly address this issue, basically to get the more benefit for the people living in the DPRK, which is ultimately my goal as a reporter.
그 킨타나 특별보고관님은 북한 인권 문제 해결을 위해서 북한 당국과 대화를 하고 또 그걸 통해서 구체적으로 북한 인권 실태도 조사하고 또 조금씩 풀어나가는 이런 북한 당국과의 대화와 교류를 굉장히 중요하게 여긴 걸로 알고 있습니다. 향후 그걸 위한 계획 이런 것이 어떤 것이 있는지 또 그걸 통해서 북한 인권 문제를 실제로 개선할 수가 있는 것인지 궁금합니다.
Communication, it is very important in the 21st century. It is communication, it is on the benefit of the people, is to improve connectivity between the people brings benefits. That's what I believe. And in the case of the DPRK, this is what will try to do, to establish a channel of communication with them, gradually, step by step, because we all know that the DPRK has been closed to the international community, to the human rights mechanisms, and therefore it is a challenge. It is an important challenge. So the challenge of establishing engagement with the DPRK authorities doesn't mean that I will compromise my responsibility as a reporter, as a human rights UN envoy, to raise my voice when the people needs to be protected. But I am just starting as a human rights reporter. I believe that this is a momentum to try to establish this communication with the government without, of course, guarantees of results. But I am committed to that. Don't forget that my mandate as a UN reporter can last 6 years. So we need to think in the long term at the same time.
그 한 가지 추가하고 싶은 게요. 북한 당국은 현재 인권 대화에 거의 응하지 않고 있습니다. 혹시 북한 당국을 인권 대화 협상의 자리로 나오게 할 수 있는 그런 방안이 있을까요? 아니 그게 가능할까요? 이런 걸 좀 묻고 싶네요. 네.
We have to be committed for any opportunity that may appear. Again, there is no guarantees for results. You may know that I think 2 days ago, the PRK representative in New York made a statement in regard to my mandate, and he said that they will accept a relationship and they will accept an invitation of this special reporter, but not in my capacity as a reporter, but in my capacity as a law professor. What I would respond to that is that I see that as a gesture from the government of the DPRK, and that I am willing to have a conversation about this idea. This is how I see communication, establish communication. There is always a starting point, and I'm willing to use any opportunity in this respect.
그 북한의 근본적인 변화를 위해서는 북한 주민의 의식을 변화시켜야 된다. 이런 의견이 많아요. 그래서 북한 주민에게 정보의 자유, 알 권리를 좀 증진시키기 위해서 노력해야 된다는 그런 의견도 있는데 특별보고관님의 생각은 어떠신지요?
There is a human rights, which is access to information. This is a human rights which is in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is in a treaty body that North Korea, DPRK, has ratified, which is the Covenant of Civil and Political Rights. So people living in the DPRK has a right to access to information from DPRK, but also from outside world. So there is a challenge in this respect on how to improve these human rights of the people from the DPRK.
최근에 북한 김정은을 포함해서 지도부를 반인도 범죄자로 규명을 하고 지목을 하고 이 사람들을 국제형사재판소에 회부해야 된다는 그런 주장도 있습니다. 그래서 북한 인권 가해자에 대한 책임 규명 그리고 그들에 대한 처벌 가장 효과적인 방법은 뭐라고 보시는지요? 그 형사재판소에 김정은을 제소하는 것이 과연 가능한지도 궁금합니다.
I cannot give you any opinion about unilateral decisions from single states. That's not of my concern as a UN reporter. It is clear that the need for accountability, it is a pillar on the human rights agenda at the United Nations. And there are many different efforts towards making this issue of accountability effective. Now, so far the referral to the ICC, as I said before, has not been effective, and there are some other initiatives towards exploring for the future how to hold accountable those responsible. For example, they are here in Seoul, the group of 2 independent experts on accountability from the United Nations. They are working on a report which will provide answers to this kind of questions that you are making. Answers to the United Nations members on how to move forward in respect to the issue of accountability. That will be a report next March. I am looking into their work, and I look forward also to look into their report for the future.
네, 지금 보고관님과의 인터뷰는 라디오를 통해서 북한 주민들에게 전해질 겁니다. 이 방송을 듣고 있을 북한 주민들에게 전하고 싶은 메시지가 있다면 한 말씀 해주시죠.
Yes, I am an independent human rights expert from Argentina in South America, and the United Nations is asking me to report about the lives and the livelihood of the people living in the north, in North Korea. And I'm looking forward to at some point have the chance to visit North Korea to have a first contact information and about the situation there. It is important that the United Nations has been committed to improve the human rights of people living in the DPRK. Every human being in the planet has basic human rights, and the United Nations is committed to improve and to protect those human rights.
Thank you very much.